Luckily, you have clicked on just the perfect video to start your English learning journey. And if you're already learning English, then still you're on the perfect video because in this lesson, we are luckily, happily learning how to start a sentence with an adverb. So please come and join me. We are going to start the journey now. So the first question that I have for you is, what is an adverb? Do you know what an adverb is? So adverb is a word that describes a verb. I'll write it for you. A word that describes a verb. You might already know that a verb is an action word. So let's pick up any action for that matter. Let's pick up running. So run, all right? And any word that describes how someone is running, that answers how someone is running, will answer this question will be an adverb. So he is running quickly or he runs quickly. So the word quickly answers the question how. How does he run? He runs quickly. So any word that describes a verb or that answers the question how is called an adverb. And as you can see that we have ly at the end of the word. The same way most of the words, actually all the words that we are doing today have an ly because most of the adverbs end with the suffix ly, which is the last part of the word. So let's look at the first one that we have with us. Fortunately. So fortune means being lucky. Fortune means luck. And when you say fortunately, you're talking about being lucky. Okay. So I was very lucky this morning because it has been raining the whole day, but fortunately I was indoors most of the time. So I had no assignment to go out. I was inside my house most of the time. So fortunately I was indoors and I did not have to get drenched in the rain or work in the rain. So this is how you use the adverb fortunately when you're being lucky. Let's look at the next one that we have, which is luckily itself. So it's quite natural that it means the same thing as fortunately. But you can use luckily for a different example. So let's say that someone's car crashed into a shop, but no one was hurt. Why? Because no one was there inside the shop. So if somebody tells you, hey, I was really lucky today, but how were you lucky? So again, we have the same question, how? And the person answers, luckily, I crashed into a shop, but no one got hurt. So here also we are answering the question how using the word luckily, which is an adverb and which has the same meaning as being lucky or to be fortunate. Fortunate itself means lucky. Now let's look at the next word, happily. How are we watching this video? We are watching this video happily. So this is also answering the question how, and you can use happily in various circumstances. You can use it for different situations. So let's say that you gave a present to your friend, all right, and she received the present. How did she receive the present? Rosie received the perfume happily, or you could say, happily Rosie received the perfume. Anything would be correct. So when someone is very happy, great. So now let's look at the next one that we have, thankfully. So this is used when you're very grateful or when you're very thankful for something. Very grateful. And where can you possibly use this? So again, in a situation where someone was about to get hurt or something, but he got saved and the disaster was prevented. So let's say that somebody had an accident. I'm sorry, I have to use a negative example because I do not have a positive example. So somebody had an accident and he got saved. So you could say that thankfully, Mike got saved even after his car was entirely crashed. So that's how you can use the word thankfully to start a sentence and to express gratitude or to express gratefulness. Great. So now we have the next one with us, which is the highest in degree when we talk about being lucky. So all of these you would use when you have been very lucky. But the final one has the greatest degree of being lucky, and this is called miraculously. So this comes from the word miracle. And a miracle is something that happens which you haven't expected at all. You never thought it would happen, but it happened. So if someone's car flows into gets into a fast flowing river, if your car, someone's car, not yours for sure, if someone's car flows into a fast flowing river or falls into a fast flowing river, but they still get saved. So how would you say that? Miraculously, he got saved even after his car fell into a fast flowing river. So this is something that you did not expect at all, but it happened. Unexpected events. So as I told you, that all of these are used for being lucky or when you've been very, very fortunate for a good thing, when something bad was prevented and something good happened. Now let's look at the next one that we have. It's sadly, definitely, as the word says, it comes from the word sad. We can guess it from the word that it is not for a good experience that we'd use this. So last night I was invited for a party and my friend called me. She asked me that, so Michelle, are you coming? And I said, sadly, I'm working this evening. So I had to deny the offer and I told her I'm working and I'm very sad about it, but I can't be there. So how was it that what was I feeling? I was feeling very sad. Or how was I feeling? I was feeling very sad. To be unhappy about something. You could also use unfortunately in place of sadly, which is this one, which is an opposite for fortunately. You could use unfortunately for something that is very sad. Now here we have the next one, interestingly. Now this is very different. These are the words that we would use when we have been very lucky and something good happened. This word is used when something bad has happened along with unfortunately, but the word that we have with us now, interestingly, this word is used when you're telling a fact to somebody that they did not know. And you were saying that when people find out that fact, they'll be very happy. Don't get confused. So let me tell you that interestingly, Einstein was very bad in school, but he turned out to be the most respected scientist in the world. So here I'm sharing a fact with you that Einstein was very bad at school, and we know that he was kicked out of the school, sadly, but he's the most respected scientist all over the world. So when I start this fact, I'd say interestingly. To say a fact that you think others would love to know. So now we are at the other words that we have in the lesson, and that is strangely. So obviously this comes from the word strange, which is an adjective, and after we have ly, it's an adverb, which answers the question how. So how did you write the exam, or how did you meet her? Sorry, let's say how did you meet her? You met your friend from school after many years somewhere, just suddenly. So you'd say, strangely, I met her at the bar, because you would never expect this lady whom you met to be at the bar. So you said, strangely, I met her at the bar because you never expected to see her there. So strangely is used for unexpected events again. But the difference is that here it's for the good, and here for miraculously it's for the good, but when you're saying strangely, you just find it very unnatural or abnormal, something that you think would not happen in the normal situations. Now we have the next one with us, bizarrely. Bizarrely comes from the word bizarre. We do not call it bizarre, we call it bizarre or bizarrely. Bizarrely is a stronger form of saying strangely. So you can use bizarrely when you're talking about a fact again, like interestingly. You could say that bizarrely, Michael Jackson spent his last year in a countryside in UK. something like that, in a village in UK. So you did not expect that Michael Jackson, the great superstar, would spend the last year of his life in the UK countryside. So that's a very strange fact, which is not true, but I'm just framing it to help you know the meaning of bizarre. So, stronger than strangely. This brings us to the last two adverbs that we have, and this is basically and essentially. So these are the two adverbs that you would use in very regular circumstances, not to share a lot of detail, but just to share the basic information. So you could say, basically, we are trying to reduce the water wastage through this project. So that's how you can use this to share just a basic information and nothing serious, no detailed information. For basic information. And because we are sharing basic information, that's why we are using the word basically. But now basically is a very common word which most of the people use. So if you want to stand out from the crowd, you might want to use essentially, which means same as basically. So these are all the adverbs that you have that you can use to start a sentence, and you can use them, go out, talk about how your experiences have been using all these adverbs, which describes verbs. So I hope this was informative and you learned a lot. Sadly, this is the end of the video, but happily, I'm going to shoot another video and I'm going to come back with another lesson. So stay tuned and keep watching my lessons. Bye-bye.